to be found about them. And all the Reckoning, the Reckoning are the people that the Watchers gave weapons to all that time ago, right? And then they felt bad about it, and then they stuck them in.
Bro. Jesus. Action.
All right, so I went on and on about Infinite Frontier. And like that's important to Shadow War, but also this is important to Shadow War, Justice League Incarnate, because I feel like this really led up heavily to Justice League 75, and when I first spoke about it, I completely forgot to mention this. So if you really care about this Great Darkness, I would start with Infinite Frontier, Justice League Incarnate, somehow Justice League versus Legion of Superheroes. Like the Great Darkness is there, but like every time they encounter it, it like scatters them through time. But like it's still the Great Darkness. But hopefully there's enough editorial at DC to actually make it all come together. And if there isn't, all the stuff written by Williamson is enough to bring it together. I just wanted to share that.
Let's go through these covers.
Beautiful covers, mostly.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's beautiful.
It is. And of course, issue 1 is the first appearance of Dr. Multiverse.
Dun, dun, dun. You got more?
Of course.
Okay. We're continuing. Yeah.
All right. I am really upset about my behavior last week and how disinterested I was in everything I read. I just want to say, Nightwing was wonderful. Okay. I think he's like, the police are still interested in him for some reason. I really couldn't get that part. But definitely Bruce is there, Barbara's there, they talk to him. You know, there's some character I don't know, but apparently the mayor of Bloodhaven also doesn't like him. They give him a hard time about everything. Bruce is not cool with the statue of Alfred. He's like, oh, Alfred wouldn't have appreciated it. And he's like, that's okay. It's for him and it's for us because, you know, Alfred was amazing. And there's like a really cool like throwback to Alfred in the beginning. And the park that he finally got approved where Alfred's statue is, like it's the grand opening and the mayor and that dude who I don't know who he is harassing him. And I'm like, oh, who do you have to open the park anyway? And then you hear the kids scream, Superman, and John comes floating out of the air, right? So I was just like, oh yeah, we got two people who are constantly threatening you. Let them know that Superman's your buddy. So I had a really nice time with this and I felt like I needed to give it justice. DC versus Vampire Hunters. Okay, so let's start with, I didn't know that DC versus Vampires is its own thing, right? So I read this as a one-shot, and it's cool. Damian works as a double agent. He is a vampire, but he wants to bring them down, and he works very hard to try and bring Nightwing down with the help of Alfred and Martian Manhunter. And do you mind if I ruin it? All right, so Dick Grayson is like this big badass vampire right now, and they don't get away with finishing him. And he's talking to Alfred, and he's like, "I'm gonna just let you guys walk out and live." And Alfred's like, "Why?" And he's like, "I don't know." He goes, "Maybe I would have turned out differently if I was like a kid. Maybe he turned out to have compassion unlike the other vampires because he had you in his life, or." Maybe because he turned differently. I don't know. And he's like, but I think like the future of us getting along depends on people like you, right? And so Alfred's like, okay. He goes, but don't come after me again because you will not survive. And then Alfred leaves and he's like, Master Richard, you might be like more like this young man than you know. So a tale from the world of DC versus vampires, not bad. Knights of X. I really just went for this for the whole Excalibur thing. And like, although I'm sure it's gonna make for an interesting plot twist, I'm a little bit mad that like Merlin and King Arthur are the villains. Specifically Merlin, like basically King Arthur is his freaking henchman. And of course they want the damn sword. Like what else? Now, big time, because this is all Paul's fault, right? So I have to go back and get all Fantastic Fours so that I can put the pieces together what is happening. So,
let's give a brief
Reed
summary.
gets all the knowledge of a Watcher, right? So he starts playing hard and fast with all the rules and stuff. These are all very fast-paced books, and even with this being part 1 of Reckoning War, I still do not know these other characters, and apparently there's information to be found about them. And all the Reckoning, the Reckoning are the people that the Watchers gave weapons to all that time ago, right? And then they felt bad about it, and then they stuck them in some zone as punishment. And all they've been doing all this time is just being ready for war. So in this issue, they've already reached out to every warlike race and given them weapons. Weapons that started with Watcher technology that they have since refined. So the Badoon is attacking Earth, and Mr. Fantastic gets he adapts he actually adapts a piece of technology that Alicia Masters uses to communicate with Super Surfer, and he uses it to communicate with Avengers all over the planet and other heroes, right? Then he actually communicates with Silver Surfer, and Silver Surfer's like, I'm busy because Asgard is under attack because they're trying to unearth the corpse of Galactus, and an Invisible Woman is like, but Surfer, what are you going to do? Are you going to help Asgard? Are you going to help the Heralds unearth Galactus? So he's like, I go where the universe needs me, Sue Richards. And so great first issue. Also, Johnny gets pissed off with Reed because Reed's like, I can fix you. I have knowledge to fix you, but I'm not going to fix you because this war isn't over. He goes, so in this chapter, he goes straight after Annihilus because Reed pissed him off, and of course that was Reed's plan. Reed knew Johnny's a hothead, so by pissing him off, he's going to go exactly where I need him to be, and he'll take down Annihilus.
Clever, Richards.
Clever, but he's falling apart. And having all that knowledge inside a human-like body, Reed is basically dying with this knowledge. He adapted Nick Fury's technology that allows him to hide from everybody, and he put some of it in the unstable molecule suit of Sue so that she can hide from everybody when she turns invisible with her power. That turns out to be very helpful, and she even helps to knock out a Watcher and save a couple people. Meanwhile, Dr. Doom is on his own mission, and we're getting there. Actually, here he lures. What's this guy called? The Commandor? Whatever. He lures this guy into combat, right? But it's actually the dude who has a helmet that controls that dude that he wants, right? And then that dude is like, it's fine, I'm taking off the helmet. Now you'll see who was in control this time. He goes, it's inconsequential. And the guy disintegrates, and he just takes the helmet, and he's like, and he uses it, and the guy's like, okay, what are you gonna have me do? He goes, I want you to join me as an ally, free of your own will. That's what I want. Right? And he goes, this way your power is uninhibited, you'll fight side by side with me, and together we will win the Reckoning War. So I think that that's great. In the meantime, the Heralds do help free the Galactus body. And what's that thing on Asgard? From the first Thor movie, that indestructible armor.
Oh, what is that thing called? The Destroyer.
The Destroyer shows up. Well, Thor shows up, and he was once a Herald, so he helps to free Galactus. The Destroyer shows up, he was once a Herald, he helps to free Galactus, and disassembles himself to become part of the resurrected Galactus. And then Silver Surfer is like, all right, I hate to be your Herald again, but I know where you're needed. Let's go end this war. So they take off. So anyhow, it's very fun, action-packed, and She-Hulk has a good part in it too. So Dan Slott's been apparently trolling us with this story since 2006.